All right, so today we're going deep on Aitana Bonmatí. This midfielder isn't just playing the game, she's changing it. We've got some excerpts from an article about her journey.
Yeah.
And get this, from those early doubts about her height to national team drama to becoming a total icon, it's wild.
It really is.
This is about way more than just goals, This is talent.
Right.
Resilience. And believing in yourself even when maybe the rest of the world doesn't.
Well, and what's so captivating about her story, I think, is how it kind of mirrors the growth of women's football itself.
Oh, interesting.
We see her rise kind of coincides with this huge surge in recognition for the sport. But it's also happening at this time when players like her are finding their voices and demanding the respect they deserve.
Yeah, they're not just going to be quiet anymore. They're demanding respect.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's break down this journey a bit. She starts in Catalonia. And get this. Her height almost stopped her before she even began.
Yeah.
What?
It's like the classic underdog tale, right? Underestimated. But Bonmatí, she turned that doubt into fuel.
Yeah.
At Barcelona's La Masia Academy. They thought she was too small. Well, she turned those whispers into this roar of pure skill.
I love that.
But it wasn't just raw talent. What's fascinating is she's known for this insane work ethic. Spending hours beyond the regular training, perfecting every technique. Those early doubts, they basically forged her into this relentless force.
Wow. So she took that too small label and said, watch me, basically.
Exactly.
Now her rise through La Masia kind of happens as Barcelona becomes this powerhouse in women's football. What's the connection there?
Well, she wasn't just along for the ride. She was a driving force.
Oh, wow.
Think about their historic quadruple win. She was a key part of that, showing she could handle the pressure and deliver when it mattered most.
Yeah.
That takes serious mental fortitude.
Yeah.
Especially at such a young age.
Absolutely. Okay, then things get a little complicated with the Spanish national team. We're talking about that 2022 controversy, where Bonmatí and her teammates took a stand against the federation and the coach. They were raising concerns about player welfare.
Yeah.
And the team environment overall. This wasn't just locker room gossip or anything. They were putting their careers on the line.
This is where her character really shines through. She's not just a phenomenal athlete.
Yeah.
She's someone who's willing to risk it all for what's right.
Yeah.
And it went beyond, the tactics on the field. It was about fundamental respect and building a culture where players could actually thrive.
Yeah.
This wasn't about personal gain. This was about the future of the sport.
Totally. But speaking out like that, it came at a price. She and some of her teammates faced temporary exile from the national team.
Exactly. It highlights the complexities. And honestly, the ongoing fight for equality in women's football.
Yeah.
Even for a star player like Bonmatí. Speaking truth to power had consequences.
It did. Now, adding another layer to this whole thing is the 2024 Olympics. Spain was the favorite. But
they fell short. A quarterfinal exit. Shocked everyone.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, how do these athletes handle the immense pressure of the world stage? Even the most talented teams can stumble.
Yeah, and you have to wonder, for Bonmatí dealing with this national team controversy and then this Olympic disappointment, how did she handle all that scrutiny?
Well, this is where resilience comes in, right? How do you bounce back from these setbacks? Especially with the whole world watching you. It's a true test of character. And as we'll see, Bonmatí passes with flying colors.
Okay, well, speaking of flying colors, let's talk about the 2023 World Cup. This is where Bonmatí and the Spanish team made history.
This is the pinnacle of her career so far. Spain wins its first ever World Cup, and Bonmatí is absolutely essential to that victory. And she doesn't just win, she earns the Golden Ball, awarded to the tournament's best player.
It's like the storybook ending after everything she's been through. But what was it about her game that really stood out during the World Cup?
It was a masterclass.
Yeah.
In midfield play, her vision, her passing accuracy, the way she just controlled the tempo of the game.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal. She was dictating play, creating chances for her teammates, even scoring some crucial goals herself. And beyond the technical skills, it was her leadership on the field that was truly inspiring. She was the heart and soul of that Spanish team.
It wasn't just winning, it was how she won.
Yeah.
And the accolades just keep piling up. Back-to-back Ballon d'Or wins, UEFA Women's Player of the Year, FIFA Best Women's Player. I mean, she's among the all-time greats.
Yeah, it's a level of dominance rarely seen, a testament to her talent and her dedication. But what's remarkable is that she doesn't stop there.
It's about more than just the trophies and awards.
Exactly.
Wow.
This is where we see the Bonmatí effect in full force.
Okay, what is that?
She's become this incredible role model, inspiring young girls who see themselves in her journey.
Yeah.
She's breaking down barriers, pushing for gender equality in sports,
Yeah.
using her platform to advocate for real change.
She's not just playing the game, she's changing the whole conversation
Exactly.
around it.
And she's doing it with grace and this quiet determination. That makes her even more compelling. She's not just changing the game on the pitch. She's changing the conversation around women's sports.
Yeah. And let's not forget her continued success with Barcelona. They're racking up titles, and she's a key part of that dominant force. This is a player who's still hungry, still pushing the limits of what's possible.
Which leads us to the big question. What's next for Aitana Bonmatí?
What IS next for her? I mean, this has been quite a journey already.
Well, on the club level, she's still with Barcelona, and they have their sights set on staying at the top of both the domestic league and European competitions. More titles to chase, more records to break. There's even been talk of her potentially moving to other top clubs, which, always shakes things up.
That would be a huge deal if she switched teams.
Oh.
But then there's the national team. After that Olympic disappointment, there's a lot of anticipation for how Spain will bounce back in upcoming tournaments.
Oh, yeah. And you can bet that Bonmatí will be at the heart of that effort, looking to lead them to redemption.
Oh.
On the international stage.
So much potential, so much to look forward to. But even beyond the future, what really strikes me about her story is that it's not just about athletic achievement, it's about courage.
Absolutely. That willingness to challenge the status quo, to fight for better conditions for herself and her teammates. That's what makes her a true role model.
It's a reminder that sometimes progress demands taking risks, speaking out, even when there might be consequences.
It's about using your voice to push for positive change. And Bonmatí is a shining example of that.
And it's not just talk. She backs it up with her actions on and off the field. She's become this cultural icon, appearing in ads and social campaigns that promote sports and equality.
It speaks volumes about her impact, that she's transcended the world of football. She's become a symbol of empowerment and determination. Her story resonating with people from all walks of life.
We've covered so much ground here. Early doubts, amazing successes, national team drama, and the wider impact she's making. It's like her journey kind of mirrors the evolution of women's football, rising in prominence, facing challenges, and ultimately demanding the recognition it deserves.
And Bonmatí is at the forefront of that movement, inspiring fans, players, and a whole generation of young girls who see themselves reflected in her story.
So what does all of this mean? What's the big takeaway from this deep dive into Aitana Bonmatí's world?
I think it's a story about the power of self-belief, about overcoming obstacles, and about using your platform to make a real difference. It's a reminder that talent is important, but it's the resilience, the courage, and the commitment to something bigger than yourself that truly elevates you to greatness. And it's a testament to the transformative power of women's sports, not just in terms of athletic achievements, but in terms of social impact and inspiring positive change.
It's about proving that anything is possible if you set your mind to it. And work hard to achieve your goals, and maybe, just maybe, it's about inspiring others to do the same, to dream big, and to fight for a world where everyone has that opportunity to reach their full potential.
Which brings us to something I think you'll find interesting. Who else is out there blazing trails and inspiring change, not just in their respective sports, but in the world at large?
That's a great question. Who are the Bonmatis of other fields? Who's challenging the status quo, pushing boundaries, and showing us what's possible when we combine talent with purpose?
Exactly.
Wow.
It's worth thinking about. Who are those individuals who are making a difference? I encourage you to explore, to find those stories, and to be inspired by what you discover.
I love that. It's like this deep dive has given us this new lens to view the world of sports and beyond. It's not just about wins and losses. It's about the human stories, the journeys of resilience, the courage to speak up, and the ripple effects of those actions. Aitana Bonmatí's story is just one example, but it reminds us that even when faced with doubt, anything is possible.
So keep those conversations going. Celebrate those who are making a difference, and be inspired to create positive change in your own way.
Beautifully said. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the extraordinary world of Aitana Bonmatí. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep believing in the power of human potential.
It's interesting to think about how Bonmatí's journey kind of highlights the evolution of women's football.
Yeah.
We were talking about her incredible success at the club level with Barcelona. But remember, not too long ago, women's teams were often relegated to the sidelines, lacking resources and support.
Yeah, it's a shame it took so long for women's football to get the recognition it deserves. but feels like we're at this turning point now, and players like Bonmatí are leading the charge.
Absolutely. And it's not just about like the growing fan base.
Yeah.
Or increased media coverage. It's about the structural changes happening within the sport itself. We're seeing more investment, better training facilities, and a greater emphasis on developing young talent.
Yeah, it's like the whole ecosystem is evolving, and that creates more opportunities for players to excel. But it wasn't always this way. If we rewind a bit, think back to those early days at La Masia. What was it about Bonmatí's training that set her apart?
Well beyond her natural talent. She had this incredible drive. The article mentions how she'd spend hours after regular practice, working on her weaker foot, perfecting her passing and visualizing plays. It was that extra effort, that commitment to pushing her limits, that really made the difference.
It's a reminder that even with natural talent, hard work and dedication are key. But I'm curious, what specifically about her playing style makes her such a force on the field?
What's fascinating is that she's not just technically gifted, she's tactically brilliant. She has this incredible spatial awareness, always knowing where her teammates are and anticipating their movements. Her passes are like works of art, perfectly weighted and timed, splitting defenses and creating scoring opportunities.
You almost have to see it to believe it. Do you remember that goal she scored against Sweden in the World Cup semifinal?
Oh, absolutely. It was a moment of pure magic. She picked up the ball just outside the box, danced past two defenders, and then curled this unstoppable shot into the top corner. It was a goal that showcased everything that makes her special. Technique, vision, and a touch of audacity.
Yeah, it was one of those goals you just had to rewind and watch again. But beyond those highlight reel moments, what's it like to play alongside her? What kind of teammate is she?
From what I've read, she's incredibly supportive and encouraging, always pushing her teammates to be their best. She leads by example, both on and off the field. She's known for her humility and her genuine passion for the game.
It sounds like she's the kind of player who elevates everyone around her.
Exactly. And that's what makes her such a valuable asset to any team. She's not just focused on her individual success. She's driven by a desire to make the team as a whole better. That kind of leadership is priceless.
Thinking about her leadership, it makes those national team controversies even more compelling. She wasn't just speaking up for herself. She was advocating for her teammates, for the betterment of the entire team.
It was a bold move, especially considering the potential backlash. But it also speaks to her character, her sense of justice, and her willingness to stand up for what she believes in.
It must have been a difficult decision, knowing that there could be consequences.
Absolutely, but in a way that makes her actions even more powerful. It wasn't about personal gain, it was about fighting for what's right, even if it meant putting her own career at risk.
And it wasn't just a one-time thing. She continues to use her platform to advocate for gender equality and to inspire the next generation of female athletes.
She's become a symbol of empowerment, showing young girls that they can dream big and achieve anything they set their minds to. And it's not just about sports. It's about breaking down barriers and challenging societal norms.
Yeah, it's a message that resonates far beyond the football pitch. It makes you wonder what kind of impact she could have in the future, beyond her playing career.
It's exciting to think about the possibilities. She's already making waves in the world of sports, but her influence could extend to so many other areas. Politics, activism, business. Who knows what the future holds?
It's inspiring to think about, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. She's still got plenty to accomplish on the field.
Right. We were talking earlier about Barcelona's dominance and their ambition to stay at the top. But let's not forget, there are other powerhouse clubs out there vying for the title.
Oh yeah, you've got Lyon, Chelsea, Wolfsburg. The competition is fierce. And then there's the national team looking to redeem themselves after that Olympic disappointment.
It's a reminder that even at the highest level, there are always challenges to overcome, new goals to chase, and that's what makes Bonmatí's journey so compelling. It's a story of continuous growth, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of excellence.
Her story is proof that talent alone isn't enough. It's the combination of dedication, perseverance, and a belief in something bigger than yourself that truly makes a champion.
And that's a lesson that applies to all of us, whether we're athletes, artists, entrepreneurs, or simply trying to navigate the complexities of life.
I love that. It brings us back to that question we posed earlier. Who are the Bonmatis in other fields? Who are the individuals out there who are combining their talents with a sense of purpose to make a real difference in the world?
It's a question worth pondering, and maybe, just maybe. By exploring those stories, we can find inspiration to create positive change in our own lives and communities.
It's amazing to think about the ripple effect. that you know that one person can have. Aitana Bonmati's journey is a testament to that power, of talent combined with purpose. It makes you realize that we all have the potential to make a difference, whether it's on, a global stage or just within our own communities.
Absolutely. And it's not just about those grand gestures or, sweeping changes. Sometimes the most impactful actions are the ones that we take in our everyday lives, standing up for what we believe in, supporting those around us, using our voices to advocate for positive change.
It's like that saying, be the change you want to see in the world.
Exactly. And Bonmati's story kind of reminds us that change doesn't happen overnight. It's often a long and winding road with setbacks and challenges along the way. But it's that resilience, it's that determination to keep pushing forward that ultimately leads to progress.
Yeah, it's inspiring to think about all those people out there who are quietly working to make a difference in their own way. The teachers who go above and beyond for their students, the volunteers who dedicate their time to helping others, the artists who use their creativity to spark conversations and inspire change.
Yeah, these are the unsung heroes, the Bonmatis of everyday life, who are making the world a better place through their actions and their commitment to something larger than themselves.
And it goes back to that question you posed earlier. Who are the Bonmatis in other fields? I think it's a challenge for all of us to seek out those stories, to be inspired by them, and to consider how we can contribute to creating a more just and equitable world.
It's a journey of discovery, and it starts with curiosity and a willingness to look beyond our own immediate surroundings.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Aitana Bonmatí, what's the final thought you'd like to leave our listeners with?
I think it's this. Let Bonmati's story be a reminder that we all have the power to make a difference. We might not always be on a grand scale, but even the smallest actions can create ripples of change that extend far beyond ourselves. Let's be inspired by her courage, her determination, and her commitment to making the world a better place, both on and off the field.
Beautifully said. And on that note, we'll wrap up this episode of The Deep Dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep believing in the power of human potential to create positive change.